Okay, folks, we're live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you and welcome to this evening's zoning meeting, December 17th, 2020. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll have it led by Commissioner Alton. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
indivisible,
with
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
justice
for all.
Thank you.
Commissioner Alton,
Present.
Commissioner Creighton,
present,
Commissioner Acevedo,
present,
Commissioner Reckner,
Present.
Commissioner Brooks,
Present.
Commissioner Leonetti,
present,
Chairman Morelli.
Present.
Case number 3173, application of Donna Papalardo and Jeff Paragallo of 48 Alabama Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.5C front yard for a new second-story deck at 48 Alabama Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 259, Lot 4, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Who will introduce a motion on this application?
I make a motion to grant.
Commissioner Acevedo has introduced a motion to grant the application. Who will second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Creighton has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton,
Grant.
Commissioner Creighton,
Grant,
Commissioner Acevedo,
grant,
Commissioner Reckner,
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks,
Grant.
Commissioner Leonetti,
grant,
Chairman Morelli.
Grant.
This application has been granted. Case number 3174, application of Michael Cunha of 253C Roslyn Road, Roslyn Heights, New York, and Antonio Cunha of 8 Alpine Drive, Syosset, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2 KUs, 9-105.2C front yard to convert a one-family into a two-family at 161 West Hudson Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 67, Lot 49, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Who will introduce a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion to deny.
Commissioner Acevedo has introduced a motion to deny the application. Who will second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Brooks is seconding the motion. Commissioner Alton,
Deny.
Commissioner Creighton,
Deny,
Commissioner Acevedo,
deny,
Commissioner Reckner,
Deny.
Commissioner Brooks,
Deny.
Commissioner Leonetti,
deny,
Chairman Morelli.
Deny.
This application has been denied. Case number 3175, application of John Barnes of 93 California Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.5C front yard for a new FEMA compliant house at 93 California Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 242, Lot 33, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Who will introduce a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion to approve, to grant, sorry,
Commissioner Acevedo has introduced a motion to grant the application. Who will second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Leonetti has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton,
Grant.
Commissioner Creighton,
Grant,
Commissioner Acevedo,
grant,
Commissioner Reckner,
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks,
Grant.
Commissioner Leonetti,
grant,
Chairman Morelli.
Grant.
This application has been granted. Case number 3176, application of Jenna Johnston of 117 West Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.C front yard for a new front yard deck at 117 West Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 74, Lot 170, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Who will introduce a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion to grant.
Commissioner Alton has introduced a motion to grant the application. Who will second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Reckner has seconded the application. Commissioner Alton,
Grant.
Commissioner Creighton,
grant,
Commissioner Acevedo,
grant,
Commissioner Reckner,
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks,
Grant.
Commissioner Leonetti,
grant,
Chairman Morelli.
Grant.
This application has been granted. Case number 3177, application of Charles Raffaele LLC of 34 Shore Park Drive, Great Neck, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2J subdivision, 9-105.2K expanding use, 9-105.2D side yard, 9-113.2G off-street parking design standards for the subdivision of the existing 100 by 100 plot of land into two separate building lots, the conversion of a two-family dwelling into a one-family dwelling, and constructing a new two-family dwelling at 355 East Beach Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 142, lots 64 through 68 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Who will introduce a motion on this application?
I'll introduce a motion to deny.
Commissioner Reckner has introduced a motion to deny the application. Who will second?
I'll second the
second.
motion.
Somebody? Commissioner Alton, was that you?
I'll
Yes.
second the motion to deny, yes.
Commissioner Alton is seconding the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Deny.
Commissioner Creighton?
Deny.
Commissioner Acevedo?
Deny.
Commissioner Reckner?
Deny.
Commissioner Brooks?
Deny.
Commissioner Leonetti?
Aye.
Chairman Morelli?
Deny.
This application has been denied. The calendar. Case number 3178, application of Long Beach and Park Holding LLC of 714 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2K use, 9-11221 off-street parking, to maintain a doctor's office at 714 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 200, Lot 7, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Okay, the applicant's present.
Dr. Grushack, you have to unmute your phone.
Yes, okay, you hear me?
All right. Dr. Grushack, just a couple of items for the record.
Sure.
All right. Just give us your name and address of the residents involved.
Ira Grushack, and the residence is 714 East Park Avenue, where we've maintained a chiropractic office for the past 38 years.
Okay, great. So I'm going to make this simple because I don't have too many questions on this since I know your office has existed for, I had thought 40 years. I was pretty close. My question is this. When did you acquire the office? Did you purchase this office 38 years ago with an office present?
Yes, we did. It was a dentist's office that had been unoccupied for a couple of years before we got there. And when we took it over, we lived there for the first few years.
And okay.
Worked there, yes.
Okay. The question then becomes, when did you become aware, or how did you become aware at this point that this the CO basically was not valid for the residents and you needed to come to the board for a variance? Did you come because of a violation, or how did this come to pass?
No, we came because a couple of years ago, I guess a new doctor moved in down the block, and we got a letter in the mail saying that you sent off-street parking, and we realized that we didn't have that. So we were trying to we're only doing this to come into compliance. We're doing it proactively. We've had no problems. We've done many jobs over the years that have all been filed with the building department, and no one ever told us that we were out of compliance. We're just doing this to make everything dot our I's and cross our T's.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because this is something that, has become more of a practice, let's just say, of the board in the last number of years, where we were granting variances. I believe probably the last structure on, if you want to call it Doctors Rose, the 600, 700 block, there was one office that I know of that years ago we had a variance hearing for. I don't know what the status is of all those other offices that are in that area. We've had a couple. But what we have done over the years is that we started issuing temporary conditional variances that had to be renewed, every few years, just in case there were any changes to the use of the building. So if you would be amenable, or my question would be, would you be amenable to obtaining a temporary conditional variance for as long as the law allows. And what that would mean is that basically every number of years, with a maximum that the law would allow, you might have to just come back before the board and just say, listen, there's been no change. We're still there. There's a new chiropractor that's going to take over, or whatever. It's a professional office, let's call it that. It's a professional office, and every few years you would come to the board to let us know, if it was that or your successor, let's say. Would you be amenable to that?
Well, of course we would, that we
Okay.
plan on it being an office. So, every few years, if you needed us to do this, we'd be happy to.
All right. I mean, that's because that's more in line with the let's say the attitude that the board has taken in a number of cases, and we've been doing that, I think, as a more conservative approach of maintaining the control and integrity a lot of these offices. And as you know, I'm a practitioner in town myself, so I certainly understand the plight of the professional people in this town. You have existed for 38 years. I don't remember ever having any complaints to the, that I know of, to the building department about your practice. Certainly the parking is something you can't change. You have not added to the, practice, have you? I mean, it's the same practice, I believe, you and your wife that you've had all these years.
Yes, it's the same exact practice. And, I just want to add that, we and one of our employees live in the canals. We employ 5, full and part-time people. So, at least 3 of us walk. So we're less than a half mile. So, we don't add to the parking problem. Other offices do. So, it should be fine.
And generally speaking, a chiropractor's office, you don't have large numbers of people waiting, especially now. Well, certainly now, not now with COVID. But the thing is, it isn't the type of practice that I'm pretty familiar with chiropractic practices, but you generally don't have more than a couple of people waiting anyway.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone on the board who'd like to ask any questions from Dr. Grushack?
Nope.
All right. Is there anyone who would like to speak for or against this application?
There's nobody raising their hand.
Okay. Robert, we can't vote on this, right? Because this is on Park Avenue right now, tonight, or can we?
The Nassau County Planning Commission deferred to local jurisdiction.
Okay. All right. So does anybody want to make a motion on the application?
I'll make a motion to grant.
All right, I'll second it.
And that's
A temporary conditional variance for as long as the law allows.
Years.
How many?
2 years is the maximum time that's allowed.
Okay.
Case number 3178, application of Long Beach and Park Holding LLC of 714 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2K use, 9-11221 off-street parking, to maintain a doctor's office at 714 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 200, Lot 7, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Commissioner Acevedo has introduced a motion to grant a conditional temporary 2-year variance. Chairman Morelli has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton,
Grant.
Commissioner Creighton,
Grant.
Commissioner Acevedo,
grant.
Commissioner Reckner,
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks,
Grant.
Commissioner Leonetti,
Grant.
Chairman Morelli.
Grant the temporary conditional variance of 2 years.
This application has been granted a 2-year conditional temporary variance.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Case number 3179, application of James Dowling of 93 Tennessee Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance on the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.5C front yard, 9-105.5B side yard, to maintain front and side yard decks at 93 Tennessee Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 231, Lot 33, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Is Mr. Dowling present?
Tim Lambert is,
Yes, hi.
Tim, is your client on as well?
No, he's not.
Okay.
Okay, Tim. Give us your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, it's Timothy Lambert. My address is 3012 Fortescue Avenue in Oceanside, New York, 11572.
All right. So, a couple of things. What's the lot size?
It's a 30 by 60 lot.
Okay, standard lot.
Rocco, you're muted.
Mr. Lambert, is this a new construction?
No, this is a maintained existing front deck and a side deck that was built in 2016. And we're legalizing now. I think the owner, James Dowling, is going to be selling the home. So he wants to tie up all the permits, the open permits.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. When this house was built, then this deck was existing and a CO was granted, or what? How did this come to pass so soon after the house was built?
So this application came to pass because the contractor was constructing it and was almost done with it, I heard. And the inspector went there and said, you need a permit for this work. And so they hired me and I filed it, and nobody ever, went to the zoning board. They never enforced going to the zoning board until now.
So they didn't have any violations or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So at this point then, are they looking to sell the house and now they need to legalize this?
Yes. And the building inspector also called me and said, that 93 Tennessee never followed up. And so I called the owner, James Dowling, and I said, we got to take care of this. We have an open application here that needs to go to the zoning board.
Okay, so what really caused when the construction was when the house was finished, they finished the deck. The deck went 1 inch to the property line. Now, are we talking about the standard decks that the board has approved almost routinely in terms of the deck being 1 foot from the property line and the footings being 3 feet from the property line?
Yes, this is actually less substantial because this deck is only 42 inches above the sidewalk. So it's not elevated. It doesn't create any obstruction to the side or the rear yard.
Okay. And then, Mr. Lambert, tell us how the 4 feet requirement of variance came to pass. Was that because of a side staircase coming from the deck? How did that come to be a necessity?
Yeah, so the requirement is 4 feet for any decks or open portions. They need to be 4 feet away from the side yard. And that's impossible in this case because even, this house had a steps and landing, a stoop on the side of the house that was replaced by this deck.
Okay.
And that's why that's only 9 inches off the side property line, but it's merely a replacement of the original stoop that was there.
Okay. All right. Do any members of the board have any questions?
So I just want to make sure this is typical of the old decks, the concrete decks that were built in the West End. It's one of the typical sizes. I guess they just replaced it, correct?
Yes, and we submitted a survey dating back to 1961, and you can see that they're evident there. The side yard, it's masonry, but it was on the side yard, and in the front, there was steps in the front as well, like a landing and steps, and it was just deteriorated. So they replaced it, and they didn't realize they even needed a permit to do so until they got a warning from the inspector to file.
So they replaced an existing non-conforming situation with in-kind replacement.
That's correct.
Okay. So,
Anyone else? Was there someone else from the board that wanted to ask a question? No? Okay. Robin, is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak for or against?
There are no hands raised.
All right, thank you. In this case, if we don't need Nassau County approval on this case?
No, that came through.
All right, well then, I'm going to vote to grant.
I'll second.
Who seconded?
Dan Creighton.
Okay. Case number 3179, application of James Dowling of 93 Tennessee Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance on the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.5C front yard, 9-105.5D side yard, to maintain a front and side yard decks at 93 Tennessee Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as section 59 block 231, lot 33, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Chairman Morelli has introduced a motion to grant the application. Commissioner Creighton has seconded the motion. Commissioner Olton,
Grant.
Commissioner Creighton,
Grant.
Commissioner Acevedo,
Grant.
Commissioner Reckner,
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks,
Grant.
Commissioner Leonetti,
Grant.
Chairman Morelli.
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the holidays.
You too. Thank you.
Case number 2250, application of Alfred DiStefano of 801 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2A use, 9-106.2 mixed uses, 9-112.1 and 21 off-street parking, to renew a 2-year conditional temporary variance for one family with a professional office and/or daycare center at 801 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 82, but on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Good evening. Is the applicant here, Mr. DiStefano?
Yep, you just have to unmute, Al, you just have to unmute yourself.
Okay, I got it.
There you go.
Hi, Mr. DiStefano. How are you? Give us your address, please.
Sure, it's 801 East Park Avenue.
Okay, so let me ask you, are you the applicant that came before us a number of years ago that originally, remodeled the home and had the, I think it was the occupational therapy practice down there?
Yeah, correct. You were talking to grushack before, so I don't know if you were referencing to that 2-year temporary permit.
Yeah, but I'm saying you were the one that originally remodeled that house and really made it beautiful the way it is now, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, no, it's a gorgeous house. I remember that when it was Dr. Kopp's office.
Correct.
So basically what happened over the years is that I know you had an OT office in there, and now you have Dr. English, the internist that's practicing in that house, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. How long has she been there?
She just hit, I think this is her 3rd year on the contract, but she's signed up for another 3 years.
Okay. So you are continuing to live in that home yourself?
Yes, correct.
Okay. There's been no other changes, obviously, to the structure or anything else that would have triggered any other variances or caused any other problems with the current usage of the house, correct?
No, not since I remodeled. I haven't changed anything.
Okay. All right. Do any members of the board have any questions?
No.
All right. I remember this case well, having sat on it when we approved it the first time. Robin, are there any members in the audience that would like to have a say on this?
I don't see any hands raised.
All right, fine. Can we move on this, or is that to be Nassau County?
Nassau County approved everything for the.
All right, great. So I'm going to make a move. I'm going to make a motion to grant this application.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Who was that? Mike, was that you?
That was me.
Okay. Case number 2250, application of Alfred DiStefano of 801 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2A use, 9-106.2 mixed uses, 9-112.1 and 21 off-street parking, to renew a 2-year conditional temporary variance for one family with professional office and/or daycare center, 8801 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 82, Lot 0, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Chairman Morelli has introduced a motion to grant the application. Commissioner Leonetti has seconded the motion. Commissioner Olton,
Grant.
Commissioner Creighton,
Grant.
Commissioner Acevedo,
Grant.
Commissioner Reckner,
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks,
Grant.
Commissioner Leonetti,
Grant.
Chairman Morelli.
Grant.
This application for a 2-year conditional temporary variance renewal has been approved.
Thank you, everyone. Healthy and happy to everyone.
Good evening, Mr.
Thank
DiStefano.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case.
Case number 3180, application of Philip Aquilla of 657 Neptune Boulevard, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2K use, 9-105.2D side yard, for special use for a second kitchen, maintained side yard stair at 657 Neptune Boulevard, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 164, Lot 42, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Okay, so is Mr. Aquila here?
Yeah. Here. Joanne,
Hey,
hi.
is she there?
I don't see your client listed here.
Homie, her internet was back up.
Yeah, she,
Okay, hold
oh
on.
wait, hold on. Hold on, someone's on now.
Okay,
Oh, hi.
there she is.
Hi.
Can you see us?
Can you see us?
We can't see you, but we could hear you.
Oh, gosh. One moment.
that's because the person
doesn't
It's all right. Don't worry. I mean, hearing
Should
is
we
fine.
hit chat or mute? I don't know.
No, just leave it the way you have it. I mean, we can hear you, so that's fine. All right.
Okay.
All right. So this is Mrs. Aquilla or Philip Aquilla?
Yes, both of us, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just state your address for the record, please.
657 Neptune Boulevard, Long Beach, New
Okay.
York.
And Miss Aquilla, what's your first name?
Philip.
My name? Maureen.
Yes, Philip and
Maureen
Philip
Aquilla.
and Maureen Aquilla. Okay, this way we have it on record if both of you want to speak. All right, so, you're here basically for a special permit for a second kitchen and to maintain the side stair. So my first question is a couple of questions, first of all. What's the lot size that you're on?
40 by 100.
Okay, thank you. So now, was this a new construction, this house, or was it something that was lifted recently?
It was lifted recently.
Okay, so now how did this come to pass that you needed a permit for a second kitchen? Did you already have one in there? And did you get a violation, or is this something you haven't built yet?
We had a contractor that came to the house to help us lift the house.
Yes.
With the New York Rising money.
Yes.
And for some reason, they tore the kitchen out that was in there.
So I just want to stop you for a second. So you're telling me that there were two kitchens in the house before this?
Yeah, when I bought the house, there was this little kitchen in there.
What year did you buy the house?
2005.
Okay, so you have both resided in the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I wanted to make sure it wasn't a rental. And the question becomes then, did you have a tenant in that house, or what was the need for the second kitchen?
It just was there when we had it, but now we want to have our daughter and her future husband move in with us too. We're getting a little bit older and we could use the help, and I want to retire soon.
And also, sometimes my daughter works out of, they're here right now also. She works from home and there's like really no privacy. And, we just want to make it so that we'll get along, and
Okay.
yeah.
So now the question becomes, let's talk about the kitchen itself. You said it was a little kitchen. What's a little kitchen? Like, what do you have in this kitchen? Is it an eat-in kitchen? What's the
Yeah,
size?
it's an eat-in kitchen, and it just has a few cabinets and a sink. We don't even have a refrigerator yet.
Okay. But you plan on putting one in there though, right?
Maybe a small one, yeah.
Okay.
If I could just say one thing,
Yeah, go ahead.
we had a stove, a kitchen, a stove, a sink, a refrigerator. We had it was a full kitchen, but it was very small. So.
So did you make it a little bigger, or you need a little bit bigger, Mrs. Aquilla?
No,
it's the same size.
Okay. All right, I'm looking at the plan of the house. So now this is on the first floor plan, and the proposed second kitchen, I see it next to the staircase, so you come up. Where's the other kitchen in the house?
It's in the middle of the house on the first floor on the driveway side.
Oh, I see it. Okay. So basically the two kitchens are almost opposing each other, right?
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, back to back.
Back to back, yeah. So the question then becomes, so now they're going to live in the house. How do you have the bedrooms partitioned? In other words, are the bedrooms all on one floor, or do they have like a separate floor with bedrooms? How is this set up?
Well, me and the wife will be in the main house with the 2 bedrooms upstairs.
Okay.
And then my daughter and her husband will be in the other part where there's a 1 bedroom with a bathroom.
I see. So then the question becomes, like you were talking about, the privacy and so forth. Are there any other doors or walls that would kind of partition this off as, let's say, a separate apartment?
Just 1 door. That's a regular door.
Okay. So now
they could come into our apartment anytime, and we could go into theirs too.
All right. No, I understand. I have a legal 2-family house, and I understand that. My mother was downstairs.
Is there a second entrance? Is there a separate Hello, is there a separate entrance into into what would be their unit?
Yes, there is. I have a photo of it now.
They don't have a camera. They also have the doorway on it leading into the other house without a door.
Well, what we wanted to just kind of ascertain is,
We don't have a camera.
okay, you know what, we could probably Google, but we have pictures of the house right here in the file.
No, but I have pictures of
they can't
before.
No,
They
no,
can't-
but we have a picture of we have a picture in the file of the house. I'm just gonna refer to that photo. I'm gonna ask you about the photo, Mr. Aquilla. The house that you have, it's 657. When I'm looking at the side view of the house, okay, on the side view, stair to maintain. That staircase, if everybody can refer in their packages to that staircase, that staircase going up is basically what would lead into that kitchen?
Yes,
Okay. So from that kitchen, then, where does their apartment go? Does it go towards the front of the house or does it go towards the back of the house?
that would be right into the middle of their apartment,
To the front.
toward the front, I guess.
Okay, so their apartment would be more towards the front of the house. In other words, that room in the back where the air conditioner is sticking out of the window, what is that room?
That's a little den where we watch TV. We have a couple of couches.
Okay. And then that window that's in the middle of the house, that's the kitchen window up there?
No, that's a bedroom.
Oh, okay, next to the kitchen. So then your access to the premises would be through the front door, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And going up the front door, you'd go up the stairs. That would take you up to your kitchen. And then from there, how do you get up to the second floor?
there's another staircase in the back of the house
Okay.
that goes up to the 3 bedrooms.
Now, does that staircase communicate with their apartment?
No,
Okay, so their apartment is completely separate. When I'm looking at the side elevation photo also, I see it's like a light blue looking door that's on the side of the house, on ground level. Is that correct? That's a door, right?
Yeah, right there.
no, that's that's a little door into the new area that was built.
Okay, so where does that doorway lead? Just into the basement, or does that area communicate with the rest of the house?
That's the basement.
Right, no, but when my question was, when you're in that basement, in that level, let's say, how do you get up into the rest of the house from that level?
You'd have to come forward toward the front of the house,
Yeah,
and there's a little foyer,
okay.
and then you'll be in the foyer, and then there's a staircase going up to the
To
the
your
first floor.
apartment,
Yeah,
but it doesn't go into their apartment, or does it?
no,
Okay. All right, so basically what you've got there is access, and I want to just review this. You've got access to your apartment from the flood level, let's call it. So now you've got the 1-car garage in the flood level. Does that flood level go all the way back where the garage is?
Yes.
So you can put more than 1 car in that garage, front to back, or no?
well, right now you can. Yeah, we didn't build any walls down there.
Okay, fine.
There's nothing in there, just
Right, because you really can't, inhabit it. It's not habitable space. But the
No.
thing is, so then from that door, that blue door on the side, you can walk in there, and from there you can walk into the front of your house. And you can go upstairs, then use the kitchen that's on the main floor, and then you can go up to the 3 bedrooms that are up on the top.
Yes.
Okay. And now your daughter and her fiance, they can go up the side staircase to that white door, and they can utilize that apartment that's kind of on the side of the house, forward to it and just behind it. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you understand that you're applying for a temporary conditional variance so that we would have to ascertain that your daughter is living in the house for, period of time of 2 years, that it gets renewed, and not a tenant, because what this is not granting of a legal 2-family so that you could be renting it out to tenants. I mean, you have to understand, we have a large concern in the city of Long Beach with illegal rentals. And
Yep.
so if we are considering this, as if you will, an accommodation of the fact that you have your daughter, and perhaps you know, you may need some additional help as you're getting older. Now, has this become a financial situation, or is this just something that
No.
you need to have because of comfort, you know, family, that sort of thing?
It's a little of all of it.
Okay. All right. So you're not claiming a financial situation where you need to supply any records or anything like that. You're claiming this is a situation where you would like this temporary conditional variance as a convenience to basically enable your daughter to continue living in the house with her husband to be with some privacy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm done with my questions right now. Do any members of the board have any questions?
Yes, I'd like to clarify that when you go walk through the front, that blue door, do you have access to the other apartment from inside the house? Or
No,
the other?
because there's a staircase going up into my apartment, my part of the house, and there's a doorway going straight back into the garage or the basement.
No access.
Right. So is there access to the other unit from when I walk through that door?
No.
If you go up the stairs and into the parlor of my apartment, there's one door going through.
That goes into the unit where your daughter would be living.
Yes.
Because Mr. Aquilla, you said before that, you know, if, let's say, for example, you leave that door open, your daughter can come in and you can go in too.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a connecting door between.
It's a connecting door. I understand.
I just wanted to make
yeah,
sure that it wasn't blocked off, that it
there's no solid wall.
correct.
No,
Right, right.
I want to say something. Can I just say one thing, please?
Go ahead,
As
Mr.
of right
Aquilla.
now, there's no door at all. You could walk through both the apartment area and and our main area. There's no door. It's just an open area. But I
Right, but you're
mean,
gonna put a door there though.
well, yeah, I'm sure they would like that.
Well, no. Listen, I understand. I mean, I have
Yeah.
a legal two-family, and I have a family member that resides in the other apartment, and I have a door that, you know, we can open and go into each other's apartments, even though it's illegal too. Yeah, a lot of houses have that. I understand.
You mentioned
Any members of the board?
So I have another question. What was the other, why did the contractor rip out the other kitchen if it existed already?
Well, we had a very bad experience with I don't want to get into that whole mess, but we had the contractor from hell, like a lot of other people in Long Beach, and he just destroyed our whole house. He ripped out everything, took all of our money and left. So I can't explain why he did that.
He did it to get more money.
Yeah, he did it to get more money, hoping that we would want to rebuild it. So
Now,
when you finished it,
did you have someone else finish the job?
oh yes.
We had American made.
American made. Is that Wally?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. We're
Okay, now I know
very
who he
happy.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
He seems to be a reputable guy.
Oh yes, very
He
much
helped
so.
us
Okay.
immensely.
And we
when
had
you
the
bought it-
drawbacks in the past. That's what happened, you
Okay.
know.
But Wally wasn't the original guy who did the work on the house and took off, right? Because you know,
No,
he seems like a reputable guy.
very much so.
Okay.
and,
All right.
and he didn't put back in the kitchen. Why didn't Wally put back in the kitchen as was in
Well-
the original plans?
Well, we didn't have any money at that time, and then we got a little bit more money from New York Rising.
Gotcha. It didn't have anything to do with the fact that it wasn't legal at the time, or
No,
okay. And then when you bought it? Did you use both kitchens?
sometimes, but the thing was that when we bought it, the guy that lived there, his name was Robert Sambo,
And his mother.
and he had his mother in there. So that's how we bought it with the kitchen. We used the refrigerator to store extra food and some of our dishware and stuff like that. It was more like storage kind of.
What year did you buy that house? Because I remember that name, and I remember that name as somebody that I kind of knew through the neighborhood that did have.
Yeah, he was in charge of the transportation in Long Beach.
For the school district, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I know who that was. All right, I can say I know that story from years back. Okay, so basically you guys used the kitchen just for convenience sake. You had an extra kitchen that if you had people over or whatever you were using. Any other members of the board have any questions about this?
No.
Okay, at this point, Robin, is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard?
There's nobody with their hand raised.
All right. Is there anyone who would like to make a motion on this application at this time?
I'll make a motion to grant the 2-year additional variance.
All right, I'll second it.
Case number 3180, application of Philip Aquilla of 657 Neptune Boulevard, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2K use, 9-105.2B side yard, for a special use for a second kitchen maintained side yard stair at 657 Neptune Boulevard, Long Beach, New York, also known as section 59, block 164, lot 42, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Commissioner Leonetti has introduced a motion to grant the 2-year conditional temporary variance. Chairman Morelli has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Grant with 2-year variance, with 2-year condition. Grant with conditions. Thanks.
Commissioner Creighton?
Grant with the 2-year condition that the daughter's the only one living in it.
Yes.
Commissioner Acevedo?
Grant with 2-year conditional variance.
Commissioner Reckner?
Grant with 2-year conditional.
Commissioner Brooks?
Grant with the conditions variance. 2-year conditional variance.
Commissioner Leonetti?
Grant 2-year conditional variance.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant a 2-year conditional variance with the condition as stated that the applicant's daughter must be in residence.
This
Thank you so
application has
much.
been granted with the conditions stated on the record.
You're welcome.
Guys, thank you very, very much.
Very welcome.
We really appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Good luck.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Merry Christmas. Good holidays. Next.
Case number 3181, application of Anthony Maceroni of 106 Pacific Boulevard, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.6B front yard, 9-105.6B side yard, for a new front porch at 106 Pacific Boulevard, Long Beach, New York, also known as section 59, block 197, lot 21, on the Nassau Land and Tax Map. Anthony Maceroni. Anthony, is there anybody with you that will be speaking?
No, just myself.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so we have your name and your address for the record, please.
Anthony Maceroni at 106 Pacific Boulevard.
Okay, so you're here because you are proposing a new front yard of 0 feet, a side yard of 5 and 8. You're existing 2.5 and proposing a south yard of 0 feet. My first question is, the home is on what size of a lot on Pacific?
It is 40 wide, 57 deep.
Okay, standard lot.
Yes.
Is the house a lift, a raise, or a new construction?
No.
Okay, so now, how did the necessity come to be of needing a front yard of 0 feet? Was that because of the construction of a deck?
Exactly. That would be a deck serving as an entryway up to the upstairs apartment.
Okay, now the upstairs apartment, is this a legal 2-family home?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you have a CO for that, right?
Yes.
Granted it, this is an extension intent. This is an extension of a
Okay, right, okay. Now the side yard, Mr. Maceroni, the side yard. So basically, how did the south yard of 0 feet come to pass?
I'm
Is
not
that
sure.
because of the staircase?
So that would be the south side, which is the right side of the home and looking at it from the street.
Right.
Right. So there will be a yard. It just would be I guess a cantilever extending past the structure, still within the property limit.
You mean a deck?
Yes, that's what we're talking about, right? The deck towards the right side, south side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that deck go the length of the house heading east?
Heading east, the length of the house.
Yeah, I see that it does actually.
Yeah, it's shifted a little. It's hard. You have the drawings in front of you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain because it's shifted. So there's a landing platform which would be to the right when looking at it from the street, just for usable space for the tenants up there, as well as what I really wanted to do with it. The cantilever allows for hidden trash cans. I know it sounds very minimal, but I wanted to disguise it. I didn't want it to be too much of an eyesore after renovating, doing a full cosmetic exterior upgrade on it. I kind of wanted those to be hidden. So it makes a nice little walkway, and I get to disguise the trash cans as well.
Has this application changed any at all since we approved it a year ago?
This isn't an
This wasn't.
A new one. This is a new one, Mike. The next one's a renewal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you have an existing deck there now, right? That's out in the front. It's a big like cement deck.
Big, hideous cement deck, yes.
So it might be easier to explain. It looks like you're extending it a little bit if you're looking at the house, you're extending it a little bit to the right, and that's where the 4 feet is coming into play. How much closer to this sidewalk is it currently, or is it less intrusive because it's cantilever? Just explain kind of the difference compared to the deck you have now and what this one is going to look like.
Yeah, so that's a great question because as is, I was actually told it goes beyond the property limit. So we're going to be pushing it back just a few inches just to be in compliance.
Okay. And so now it's going to be a deck that's raised so that you'll be able to kind of go a little bit under it, or is it still kind of like a wall? I know that you mentioned cantilever, so I'm just trying to, for the record, state kind of what's different and maybe how it's less of a intrusive eyesore than.
Yeah, so it's going to be it'll look like one physical structure, but it's just going to have storage underneath it.
Okay. But it's a little bit longer, so that's where the side yard comes in.
Yes, it's wider. Yes, correct.
So then, Mr. Maceroni, you access under the front of the house, or from the front of the house, you enter underneath the deck, and you're keeping the garbage pails, etc., underneath the deck. Am I correct?
Well, actually, to be more specific, trash cans will go underneath the deck on the left side. There's a barn door style for storage underneath the deck. So
Okay.
Trash cans will go towards the left, and recycling bins are going to go in that little walkway to the right of it where it cantilevers over. I might be using the wrong term with cantilever.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. When I'm looking at the photograph, okay, I'm looking at the photograph, and there's a house. I see it looks like a BMW in the driveway, and then there's a house with a red awning next to it, to the left of it. So we're talking about that area. That is your house that we're talking about, that area right there, which is kind of like a driveway where the BMW is. You can see an air conditioner in the background sticking out of the window. That's the area we're talking about right there. Am I correct?
The area regarding the home or yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's where the deck is going. Okay. All right.
Isn't the deck going, Rocco, isn't the deck going on the other side?
No, it's a direct swap. I'm not moving the deck at all, the physical structure. The only thing that's just bumping it to the right a little bit.
Yeah, Rocco, if you look at the picture with the BMW, that concrete structure on the right, the stoop to the right, he's replacing that structure.
Right.
He's bringing it further towards that white truck, towards the house, the pink house on the other side.
I understand.
Yes, the pink house. Yes.
Right. Now I see. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
And is there any reason why you can't end the deck where the deck ends currently, where the current concrete one ends?
Yeah, I thought it would be, that's a good question as well. I thought it would be much more appealing to hide the cans, create some sort of like an archway to walk through for the side yard, and as well as a little more space upstairs as well.
You muted. You're muted, Rocco.
I'm sorry. What I was going to say was, so then basically I just want to recap that. So that where that front concrete structure is, that's where the deck is going. The deck is going to be extended over towards the end of the house.
Past
that,
the end of the
and
house.
that's being taken in a little bit also from where the concrete porch was sticking out from in front of the house. Am I correct on
Yeah,
that?
we're talking about the depth, right? Of the
Yeah.
concrete structure? Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
going to go in just a few inches.
Okay. Now I understand.
And the other change too, to just visualize another small difference, is there's going to be a few steps going towards the house, and then it goes to the right. As is, it's just strictly one line going straight up.
Okay.
So is it at 0 setback right now?
It's probably negative. I think it's beyond the property line, but yes, there's no front yard, quote unquote.
Right, okay.
So
I
can
would
ask-
need, if I needed I believe that it was highlighted that I need 4 or 5 feet. If that was the case, it would probably just be a ladder going to the front entrance for that apartment. So there definitely needs to be a staircase.
What's wrong with the ladder to the apartment?
Those days are behind me of roofing. I don't even want to look at a ladder anymore.
But now the stoop ends flush with the house, and you're proposing to go 4 feet beyond the
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, extending it all the way to the property line.
What does your neighbor in the pink house think of that idea?
They love it, actually. They really do.
Are they here, or they give you any kind of letter or anything like that, or well, if nobody speaks against it, we'll see.
No, they were cheering for me. They're a nice couple next door. They're happy with all the changes. They're really excited to see the wheels in motion. It's probably the ugliest house on the block, so I've got a lot of cheerleaders on this one.
I have to say the front yard thing does not bother me because it looks like a pre-existing condition, but bringing the side yard to 0 feet is a little, I think a little bit of a stretch, but that's just an opinion that I have.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, or to the applicant,
I agree.
would you consider bringing that in a little bit, or does it have to go right to that property line?
Well, if I brought it in a little bit, it would impede the walkway, so it doesn't reduce a side yard. There's just a post, and it's only an archway.
Okay.
So
so you're gonna go right under it. Okay.
Exactly.
Do you
I don't know
believe?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, and you believe that that side is over the property line at the moment?
No, not the side. The front.
Front. Okay.
To the front, to the sidewalk, to the front. Maybe that was the clarification I should have emphasized.
What's the height of the clearance under it? I'm sorry.
Oh, that I don't know. I don't have that drawing in front of me. It takes forever to load. I'm in my car right now trying
But you're calling it a walk.
not have
right?
my daughter screaming in the background, so I don't have all of these. I'm sorry. What was that last?
You are saying it's for walking through, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's.
So I'm just wondering, like, I mean, from a code standpoint, do walkways with arches have a height requirement?
It's pretty high.
This font is pretty tiny. I don't know if that's 6'6" I'm reading, or I don't have my magnifying glass with me.
Yeah,
It's by 6 posts, let's see. See, the post is 6
It
by
looks
6.
like 6'6". And the post is 7'2".
7'2".
The post. The height of the walkway that you're referring to, I believe, is 6'6".
Yeah, it looks like 6'6".
Would you consider bringing that deck back to the structure line, and so that you'd only be asking for a variance to 2.5 feet as opposed to 0 feet?
It really, the home from an aesthetic to strictly cosmetic approach, it really requires some sort of dimension to it. It's just a high ranch L shape, very generic looking design. So I was really trying to make it functional, where it would be utilitarian for things like a walkway and just hidden trash cans, so we really can't see them from the front or from the side, as well as making a space up top where you can walk on the deck and have more space to maneuver around, just for like a chair.
The only question I want to just bring up, and I'm not an engineer. The only question I want to bring up now, is there an issue, Barry, you would know, and Dan, Mike, is there any kind of issue now with this height of the walkway problem, not meeting code? In other words, do we have to have a code requirement that
I would think the
there
building,
has to be a certain amount of clearance?
I would think the building department would have picked that up. That's kind of a building department.
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I think,
You know
I
what?
think,
The way this is built, it's not very imposing to the property line. It's just because it's open underneath.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but you could also have people standing out on the deck, like literally right at the property line.
yeah,
You know,
no,
your neighbors may be nice now, but your next set of neighbors may not be.
I usually hate going to the property lines. In this particular case, I don't know. The deck is so tiny. I mean, if you take that other 4 feet off of it,
Yeah, there's nothing there. It's not even really a deck at that point, you know? I mean, I think most of the time, Dan, when we've had cases where we've had to prune them back, it's because the decks were actually very imposing. I mean, we had people with decks too that were bringing them, wrapping them around, and they were going out over 10 feet away from the home.
Yeah, but I mean, you're adding 2.5 feet. I don't know. It seems like it's a lot to the neighbor. I mean, you're bringing it literally to the lot line. And I just,
the pink
we
house.
don't even let decks on the west end build to 0 lot line on the street side.
you're right.
You know what I mean? We don't allow that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just.
it's a tough one. And if anything ever gets rebuilt in that house next door, it becomes a problem for them too, that's also part of it.
Right.
I mean,
They wanna put
2.5
a deck
feet.
out.
If you had to take off 2.5 feet, I mean, it could change it fairly substantially. But at the same time, we have to keep into account. I mean, listen, this case could remain open till voting. We could request maybe that we do get a letter from the neighbors. I mean, I don't know how you other folks feel about it, but I mean, it might just be something that we might want to think about it, maybe wait to get some neighbor input if there's nobody that wants to speak tonight from the community. I don't know if this is necessarily something that we'd have to grant or not grant on a legal basis, as much as also a consideration for the property to the south.
I agree.
Okay, I can speak with the neighbors if you like.
Yeah.
Not right now, obviously.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
I would walk over there. I'll just lose my Wi-Fi signal. But yeah, I'd really like to keep it. There's just such a small space, especially with the new layout of the stairs. So the stairs are going to have a few steps going up, and then there's a landing, and then it cuts to the right. So I'm reducing the size of the deck, or what would be a deck, by that much. So it just shifts it over essentially.
Okay.
And it also visually, it really adds that depth and dimension to it.
We understand. Certainly, we understand and appreciate, why you want to do it. I mean, I think I'd want to do the same thing if I was doing it, because it isn't a very large deck anyway. But as a couple of the commissioners mentioned, the concern is, what we're leaving with as a situation for the surrounding neighbor, and for the future, if we're setting any kind of precedent on, in the President Street area, and on Pacific. So, I don't know how the other members of the board feel. Is there anyone, Robin, who does want to speak in favor or against that you have?
There's no hands raised.
All right. I don't know how the board members feel, but perhaps we'll wait on it, to vote on it. Wait till maybe if you want to get the neighbor to just write a letter to us, and we could vote on it at the next meeting.
We'll check with the building department on the height of that too.
Yeah, I think just needs just a little bit of work. I don't personally feel comfortable just voting on it tonight. I think that there's a little bit of homework that needs to be done on this case.
Mhm. Yep.
How do the other members feel?
I'm
I
good.
agree with you, Rocco.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to deny it, but at the same time, I want to make certain that everything else is okay.
Okay.
The zero setbacks need to be really carefully considered.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
We're trying to be fair on this, because as I say, there's definitely some more information that we could use to make the decision, legally. And at the same time, it's not a burdensome thing. All we really want is perhaps something from the neighbor. And we just want to make sure, because I'm personally not sure of the code requirement for the height of coming under a walkway. Because I mean, you get a pretty tall person, they'll be banging their head against it. So I just want to make certain before I would approve it of those things. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe
Right.
my architect had looked into that because we had some conversation about it,
Okay.
and he crunched the numbers and provided all that info with the
Okay.
drawing. But
Okay,
yeah,
if you could just
absolutely.
get us, that'd be great, because this way, when we do render a decision, we would be 100% sure that it's legal and, that there'd be no problem. All right?
All right, yeah, that sounds great. I guess I'll reach out to Robin because we've been in communication
Yes,
about
yeah,
this. And
yeah, that'd be great. Just, whatever correspondence you want to put in before the next meeting, the case remains open until voting anyway. So, anything you want to add, anything you want to change, feel free to do that before the next meeting, and we'll vote on whatever we have in front of us by that date. All right?
all right, great. Yeah, thank you for your time and your feedback.
It's okay.
Thank you,
It's all
everybody.
right. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
you.
Good luck.
Happy holidays and have a
Yes,
happy
thank
new
you.
year.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right,
Okay.
folks, next.
Case number 2920, application of Shane Begleiter of 670 West Broadway, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.12C lot area, 9-105.12E front yard, 9-105.12F side yard, 9-105.12I density, 9-105.12K off-street parking, 9-113.2G off-street parking design standard, 9-113.2H off-street parking design standard for an extension to variance number 2920 in order to elevate an existing six-family dwelling at 668 West Broadway, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 18, Lot 37, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Okay, is the
Mr.
applicant
Begleiter.
here for the
Yeah.
extension?
Yep, he's
Can
here.
you hear me?
Yeah, Mr. Begleiter, how are you? Just give us your address again for the record.
Okay, so I am Shane Begleiter. I'm the owner
Okay.
applicant. I'm at
Right.
670 West Broadway.
Okay, very
I
good.
have a brief statement and then I'm
Go
happy
ahead.
to answer questions.
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for your service once again. Thank you for this opportunity. This is a request for an extension granted December 21, 2018 unanimously. This is a New York Rising project currently in the appeal process since June of 2019, but I have not had a hearing yet. The property is owned since 1980. My primary residence is also in this row of houses. There is no change in plans. I want to obtain the variance to show good faith and ability to proceed if and when I have that hearing from New York Rising. And may I request the vote tonight if possible? Thank
Absolutely.
you.
So, Mr. Begleiter, just a recap,
Yes, sir.
because I remember the case and, we voted on the case and it had merit. And my question is, you answered one, nothing has changed since this. My second question is there any kind of indication of a time frame when you're going to have a hearing, or is this just kind of sitting up in the air because of COVID, or what do you anticipate as needing time?
What I've been told from New York Rising is before they get to commercial properties, they have had a tremendous backlog of 1 and 2 family homes. But that was maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
So I'm anticipating and I'm hoping that something is going to break in the beginning or early part of 2021.
Okay, but so you've been in communication with them. It's not like you're just, they've kind of forgotten about you when you're just kind of like on somebody's, back burner. You do speak with them from
I
time to
speak
time.
with my case manager, yes.
Okay.
And,
All right.
and what's the appeal that you have with New York Rising?
Okay, what is the question, Commissioner? What is the basis of the appeal?
Yes, basically, yes.
All right. I'm going to say that I had fulfilled every requirement in the book with New York Rising. Whatever they asked me to do since 2013 when I first applied, I have done. Through their bad behavior in a sense, through their administrative cafous, they gave me enormous setbacks. But in direct answer to your question, the basis of my appeal is that I acted in good faith based upon the schedule that I told them I could conform to based upon when they gave me the green light. They knew they had set me back previously to my obtaining the variance December 21, 2018. I obtained the variance. I informed them I obtained the variance. I informed them I was going to proceed. And they acknowledged this. They even came to the project on April 1st of 2019. Hear me. I got the variance December 21. I obtained part of my permit to do this work in the beginning of 2019. They actually came and they did asbestos abatement April of 2019. And then in May, the end of May, they tell me, since I was not up in the air on January 1st of 2019, that they were taking back my elevation grant. So the basis of my appeal is that I've conformed to everything. I conformed to the schedule that they knew I was progressing with. I cooperated in every way, shape, or form. And there was really no reason to call back the grant because I was on schedule based upon a schedule that they had accepted.
Okay. So basically now at this point in time, you know, we do extend variances, obviously, in situations like this. I mean, it certainly sounds like, you know, a situation, it's not the first time I've certainly heard these things happening. But I think we generally only grant extensions for 9 months. So I'm hoping that, you know, if we grant you a 9-month extension, that you're going to be able to, you know, at least get the ball rolling again and your money so that, you know, you can comply with the variance and maybe not have to come back again. That being said, I guess, council is still present. Mr. Barrios, Rich, the question I have for you is basically when we grant these extensions, typically it's just a 9-month extension because he may need a little more. I mean, I'm not looking to change the protocol, but 9 months is all we can really grant, right? If we were to grant this.
This is for, just specifies a temporary conditional permit, or is it a variance again?
Well, he's looking to extend. I think he's looking to extend the date of the variance. In other words, he's extending, you know, in other words, he has a variance. The variance was granted, and I think he needs an extension of the variance because he hasn't been able to get his money that he can continue on with the project. Am I correct,
Yes,
Mr. Begleiter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So typically what we do grant is we will grant a 9-month extension, but I'm just a little bit concerned that, you know, given the speed at which this thing has been taking, and I don't doubt that these occurrences are happening, you know, is a 9-month extension realistic? I don't know, you know,
If the board was to tell me that I would have the opportunity at some point in the future, I mean, I guess you're kind of saying, Chairman Morelli, should I take it now or should I obtain it when I'm about to have my hearing?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But if we can do this, let's assume if the board would grant this extension, because I mean, this is certainly a hardship situation, I think. I mean, if this is granted, there's nothing, if let's just say it's granted at this time, I guess my question, Rich, is there's nothing to stop us if we had to rehear this again in 9 months again and re-grant it, because this is something that's clearly beyond the applicant's control. I mean, clearly
Right, so
can't build it without money.
Right. I mean, 9 months has been the standard. If he comes back, you know, before it expires, he could probably get 6 more months without a hearing.
Okay. Mr. Begleiter, you understand, right?
Yes, he said that I would be able to extend the extension kind of automatically 6 months with proper notice.
Yeah, you know, you'd have to come back and it would be the same kind of procedure that we're doing right now tonight.
Can I say you're lovely people? You do a community service. You know, there's no fear to come to you.
No.
We're old
Okay.
friends already, in a sense.
Why would you think that?
Yeah, listen, you know what? We certainly, you know, we're here because we love the community and we're here to serve the community. At the same time,
And you don't get the
we went through
recognition that
hell
you deserve
7
either.
years ago, you know, and we understand what people are going through. If you would have asked me, you know, on October 29th, 2012, how long would everybody be back in their homes? I would have said maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 years. If you would have said to me 7 years, people are still waiting for money and for this and that, I would have said you're out of your mind, you know, and I don't think anybody sitting on this board would have thought that 7 years from now, people would still not be, you know, rebuilding their homes yet because they didn't have the money, you know.
I didn't even know New York Rising was still in the picture. I mean,
Well, you know, yeah, well, look around. Esteban, look around in our neighborhood where we are. We're kind of fortunate, but cross the other side of Park Avenue and go down some of the streets and the canals and look at how many houses are still sitting waiting to be fixed, that are halfway fixed. You know, so we understand, Mr. Begleiter. So, in any event, is there anybody who wants to speak against or for this extension?
I don't see anybody with their
All right,
hand.
because I'm going to move to grant a 9-month extension on this variance.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Case number 2920, application of Shane Begleiter of 670 West Broadway, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.12C lot area, 9-105.12E front yard, 9-105.12F side yard, 9-105.12I density, 9-105.12K off-street parking, 9-113.2G off-street parking design standards, 9-113.2H off-street parking design standard for an extension to variance number 2920 in order to elevate an existing 6-family dwelling at 668 West Broadway, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 18, Lot 37 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Chairman Morelli has introduced a motion to grant. Commissioner Acevedo has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton,
Grant.
Commissioner Creighton,
Grant.
Commissioner Acevedo,
Grant.
Commissioner Reckner,
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks,
Grant.
Commissioner Leonetti,
Grant.
Chairman Morelli.
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody, and stay safe. We need you.
Good luck,
Yeah,
Mr. Begleiter.
Thank you.
I hope it
I'll
moves
keep you
forward.
posted.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Robin, is that it?
That's
No
it.
other items on the calendar.
No.
Okay.
Happy
Ladies and
holidays.
gentlemen, I want to thank everyone who participated this evening. Your input is very important. I wish everyone a very happy, healthy holiday season. Hopefully 2021 will bring a better year for everybody. And, you know, maybe one day we'll be live again at City Hall. So anyway, I want to thank everybody this evening for participating.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Same
Happy
to you and
holidays.
everyone else.
Happy holidays. Everyone be safe.